All right, welcome back, everybody. This is a Tech Talk episode number 121. Free online tools and services for your business. Recorded on March 15, 2018. It's also segment 5 of the online course, Free and Almost Free Ways to Advertise Online. So anyway, some of you might notice, somebody actually emailed me back on the last episode that I skipped over this episode 119, and I actually did. I actually did create the episode. And I was actually, unfortunately, I was profiling one of my service providers, and we suddenly developed an issue with them. And I promised everybody, this is something I just do, I'm going to make sure I got solid services behind me. And anyway, I decided to cancel the publication until we clear the air of what's going on here. So I might relaunch that episode, but for now, it was necessary to pull it. So anyway, that's the reason why we had this lost episode. So there's no episode 119. So, and once again, I appreciate the calls and inquiries and all the stuff. And they're very, very interesting questions. So anyway, a quick story here. I had a friend of mine that spent literally thousands of dollars in software to do, the website stuff. Photoshop. He bought some very expensive video editing software, some high price services. And, he came around and asked me what I'd used. And actually, in the beginning there, I spent thousands of dollars software too. Okay. And for a long, and that, I've had Photoshop and maybe thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. But then, you know what? It got to the point I started having my clients do more of the stuff, kind of a do-yourself thing. So I started using stuff that was lower cost, not as complicated. And basically alternatives, okay, low cost, no cost alternatives. So, I would basically make sure that whatever I'm using is affordable by my clients. So here we are with a lot of stuff, and really I've found lots and lots of stuff out there. So this is going to be the first similar segments of finding presenting all these tools here. And a lot of this is going to be, in fact, let me switch the client slides there. Free online tools. Service for a business. That's what we're going to cover today. Okay, so there's lots of tools out there, and I got oodles of them. Today we're going to cover a lot of the stuff on the Google platform. Okay, at least some of the Google services. There's lots of them out there, and maybe we don't realize that Google's had boatloads of free services, free stuff, and I actually, as much as I've been surfing around Google and stuff like that, using their services a lot, I find new stuff all the time. So I'm as fascinated sometimes as a lot of my friends and colleagues and people, listeners and watchers here, along with them. I'm pretty excited about it. So anyway, we're going to cover services and tools related to marketing and advertising, and basically going to cover some of Google services because there's so many of them, and I keep finding new stuff all the time. So, in fact, we're gonna come back to Google every once in a while and cover even more of their free services as time goes by here. Before we go forward here, before you start using these services, I strongly advise you create a separate Google account for your business related stuff. Okay, and what the big reason why, there's several reasons, but the big reason why is you separate your personal stuff from your business stuff. So in case one happens to one account, whatever, you don't wax the other account. Okay, so it's free. The fast way to open another Google account, open up another Gmail account. Okay, and go through the credentials, all process of opening that account, and there you go. Okay, so anyway, so let's jump into it. The first service that we're going to cover here is the Google Webmaster tools. And by the way, all these links are going to be in the show notes, so that you can jump in there and go there yourselves here. So anyway, where this is at is google.com/webmasters or /webmaster/tools. What this tool is, amongst many things it does, it helps Google index and track your website. Okay, this is the fastest way to let Google know, hey, I got a website, or hey, I got something new on my website. It literally tells Google to index your site. So, and without doing this, Google's going to have to kind of go to a search kind of blindly around the internet trying to find your website, instead of just telling Google, hey, I have a new site here. So basically, that's what Google Webmaster Tools does, amongst other things it does as well. Okay, it does site tracking and some fundamental analytics too. Okay, so and that in mind, that's the next one we're going to segue to is the Google Analytics. Okay, which is analytics.google.com. Basically, what this service is, by the way, Google Webmaster Tools, all these tools are free. Okay, so the Google Analytics is at analytics.google.com. Once again, this link is in the show notes. Okay, this does numerous things. First of all, it's one of the most comprehensive analytics tools anywhere at any price. Okay, it's measure results of campaigns, your website, stuff coming your website. Stuff comes from ad campaigns. If you have even an app or whatever, it measures all that stuff, and it does it very efficiently and elegantly. It has lots and lots of data. You can track any of the awesome tools to track and measure traffic to a website, app, everything. Okay, and with all this information, you have better insights on your visitors or customers, how they're finding you, what they're looking for, so on and so forth. And with all these tools, including what you get in the Google Webmaster tools here, it helps you fine-tune your website, make it more efficient, and make your marketing efforts more efficient too. So once again, this is a free tool. This is one of those things that's standard issue. These two services as standard issue when I work with my clients. So, okay, next is Google Keyword Planner. This has had several different names. This is the current name called Keyword Planner. This was the Keyword Tools, keyword location tool. It's a part of the AdWords tool set. If you don't know what AdWords is, that is the pay-per-click advertising platform that Google has. Basically, that's what made Google. Okay, they're billions and billions of dollars and made put Google on the map. Okay, it's the where it's at. A fastest way to find this tool, you go to open a Google AdWords account, which is adwords.google.com. And then you go home, tools, keyword planner, so on and so forth, as you see the link on here. But the fastest way is go to adwords.google.com, click on the tools button. They change this around every once in a while, and look for keyword planner. Okay. Now this tool is typically used to create AdWord campaigns. Okay. So you go through the tools and find the different search terms and how much traffic these terms have. Where they had a lot of competition, whatever. So you're able to get lots of real-time information on search terms and traffic and popularity. Okay. Now, obviously, used for pay-per-click campaign too, as well as I use it extensively on offline campaigns. Okay, or not organic search engine campaigns, where you're able to you get a pretty good idea the search term you should be targeting for either pay-per-click or organic campaigns. Okay, so again, this is now most people think you have to use AdWords, but not necessarily. And we're going to cover that in the Q&A a little bit later too. But I want to cover another little used service that's extremely powerful. It's called Google Trends. This is at trends.google.com or sometimes trends.google.com/trends. Okay, this is an amazing SEO tool that most people don't realize is there. Once again, it's a free tool. Okay, what this is, it finds trending search terms. It's unlike the keyword planner. It kind of analyzes the entire Google search system and say, hey, this term's trying to get more popular than this term, and kind of puts it out there for people. Okay, and you can track trends based on general terms, or get more specific, or actually track trends on search terms you're aiming toward. They'll tell you for instance, you can put in something like plumber in Apple Valley, and it'll give you alternate terms on plumbers and which ones are trending. So it's incredibly powerful tool, especially for being free. Okay, and advantage of this type of tool here is, like I said, you find trends in search terms, and usually you're able to target these things before somebody else does. Okay, so you're able to jump on these terms and get them ranked faster. get if you can tune up a website to rank on these terms a lot faster and quicker before the crowd gets there, for lack of better terms. So once again, a pretty powerful tool to have in your toolbox. And once again, it's free service from Google. Okay. Now, last but not least here, we also have Google Voice, which I use quite often. This is something that's kind of away from search engine stuff. Google Voice is a service that a lot of people forgot about. Basically, what Google does is gives you a free phone number. Okay, along with free phone number, it has lots of free calling features, such as voicemail, except SMS messages, text messages, and actually, it's pretty good for making long distance international calls at pretty low cost. And lots of free calling features too. It's got about three-way calling, a bunch of stuff like you would do a traditional kind of if you ever have a VoIP phone service, this is a free way of getting a free phone. So, and I've used the Voice, and Google actually bought a previous company out before, and creating Google Voice, and I was actually a customer of theirs before Google bought them out. And I'm surprised that more people don't use this service, especially considering it's free. So anyway, with that in mind, let's go into Q&A real quick. First question I get quite often when I bring up Google Voice: how to use Google Voice in advertising? Well, I tend to use Google Voice for both online and mostly offline advertisement, where I will send people to call a phone number. And I want to track. I literally want to track the calls coming in. So I will use an alternate phone number such as Google Voice, a free phone service, and I would go ahead and forward the actual call to the actual number of whoever the client is or myself, whatever. But use the Google Voice number to track the calls. So that is a very effective and frankly a free way of doing this stuff. There's services out there that charge quite a bit. Charge quite a bit for similar services where it can do it free through Google. Another question that come up about Google Webmaster Tools and Analytics: it can be a little bit complicated setting stuff up, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, you're kind of right. And Google is making it easier to kind of connect them both together. There is actually kind of a wizard that if you use WordPress, it's a relatively easy thing to do to hook up Google Webmaster Tools Analytics to your WordPress website. If you don't have WordPress, there's ways you drop code in your website, but it is a little bit. It could be a little bit complicated, but there's plenty of help out there to get you from point A to point B with these particular services. Once you're plugged in, I mean, you got the world at fingertips when it comes to information about your website and website traffic. So it's well worth doing the effort of plugging your website into analytics and in Webmaster Tools. Also, last but not least, do you have to buy AdWords, or in other words, pay for a paid pay-per-click advertisement to use a keyword planner? And the answer is no, you don't have to. It's actually free. However, Google is definitely going to want you to try to pay for some advertisement, but they've actually provided this as a service, as a additional service on AdWords anyway, on the pay-per-click advertisement. And they needed to have it anyway, so they provide it for free. And there's arguably that Google's been attempting to take that free tool away, but it's kind of hard to do that. So anyway, it is a free service. So in fact, all these services I mentioned today are free. So anyway, in summary, like I say, these are just a few of many Google services that are out there for free. And like I say, they're all free. They are, and I keep on finding new ones all the time. So I'll make sure we'll do a follow up on these as well as other free Google services that have been beneficial to business. I'll also see with some of these services, as I mentioned, with Google Analytics and Google the Webmaster Tools. That's the most most direct way to tell Google that you exist, your business exists, your website exists. So it's one of those things. Not only is it a free tool, you have to use it. So keep that in mind. Anyway, like I said, we're going to cover more Google services and other free services too as well. In fact, this next segment I'm going to do here is on a free image editor, as well as getting some free graphics and all this stuff. I know a lot of you people have been asking me about that, so we're going to cover that in the next in the next segment of Tech Talk here. But in the meantime, do me a big favor, do you a big favor, bookmark this page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, visit PrimeContent.net, where you find the whole series of Tech Talk with Dan Harley, as well as free and almost free ways to advertise your business online. Share this information with friends and colleagues if you think they're having some problems getting from point A to point B and struggling, trying to get customers to the business. And last but not least, please give me some feedback. I appreciate you guys calling me up and say, hey, Dan, I got this question, I got this problem. Can you help me? I take that information and turn it into a podcast show. So, and there's plenty of places to give me that feedback. So anyway, we're going to close this out, and appreciate you guys listening or watching, however way you get this information. And we're going to, I'm going to see the next segment. And good luck and Godspeed to your online success. We'll see you later.